Hello there and welcome to episode 2 of the Creepy Froggy vlog season 4, in which we investigate strange and peculiar places and phenomena. This theme that we're working on this season is evil spirits, and today we're gonna take a look at a apartment building that shouldn't really come with any baggage because it was built from scratch, but it still had something that shouldn't be there. Let's take a look. So we're in Uppsala, north of Stockholm, and the street we're going to visit is this one, Norrtäljegatan. This street is situated in a part of Uppsala that is called Fålhagen. And it was built in the 1920s and the following decades. And it consists of, well, apartment buildings of various sizes and shapes and colors. Before it was built up in the beginning of the 20th century, this whole area was rural and consisted of mainly meadows and farms. And the building we're going to take a closer look at today is this one. It's Norrtäljegatan 13. It was built in the 1940s, and in one of the flats in this building something moved in before the first tenants of Flesh and Blood ever did. A man who moved into one of the flats here in the 1940s, he soon started experiencing things as if he really wasn't alone after all in his brand new flat. It started when he was sitting in his living room. He was reading a newspaper quietly, when he suddenly got the feeling that he wasn't alone. He looked up and he saw this elderly lady, and she was looking rather surprised. She was gazing around in the flat, looking for something. She looked surprised to be there. And then after a few minutes, she just left, went into the kitchen, even though the door was closed. The man, who was at first kind of surprised, he now started feeling a bit uneasy. And he went up and went into the kitchen, but there was no one there. And moreover, his front door was locked, so no one could have entered his flat without him knowing it. He looked through his entire flat, but of course, just like the kitchen, he didn't find anything. And this man, he, after a while, began feeling as if this entity had started taking over his home, and he didn't feel good about that at all, as one can understand. Now, throughout the years, this lady keeps reappearing in this man's flat, always doing the same thing, not seeming to notice that he is there, but looking around as if she isn't aware of where she is or why. And despite she not actually doing any harm to the man, she always left the place with a feeling of dread and horror, and it made the man feel very uncomfortable. Now, what this entity wanted with the man was never made clear. And If it's still there, I have no idea. What I do know is that this building has changed looks at least a few times in its lifetime. It did not look like this to begin with. To begin with, it would have looked something like this. And now it looks like this. And in between that, it has had a completely different look. Now, I don't know why they keep changing appearances on this particular building. All the other buildings in this neighborhood, they seem to have stayed the way they were built once upon a time, but not this one. If it's got anything to do with unwanted guests, entities that leave eerie feelings for the tenants, maybe, I don't know. But I do know one thing, and that is that I don't believe in coincidence. Now, even if I'm not sure if this entity is still around, rumor has it that it is still there, the entity, that tenants have had experiences since this man, with all his experiences in the 1940s and later. Who knows what goes on behind all these doors? Not that this entity seems to need doors to get around, but still. And it's not clear where the entity came from, why it decided to take up its abode here. There was nothing here beforehand that could explain it. No weird cemeteries or execution grounds or anything. So, your guess is as good as mine. So I leave you with that. Thank you for watching. I hope you stay tuned for the next episode of this vlog. Goodbye.